call somebody a criminal and they call somebody a criminally minded person. They are two different things. And let me explain the difference so that you get the basic understanding in line with your question. Now, if somebody is called a criminal, the implication is that there are evidence to prove that that person has been convicted of a crime. That's why you call that person a criminal. If you are challenged, you can say, okay, I called him a criminal based on this fact, based on this, it's published on the newspaper or pages of newspaper that he did this, there is a court judgment to that effect that you can reference. Another thing is, let me give you an example before I go to criminally minded. All these judgments you have been seeing in Nigeria, for instance, that they are sentencing all these people have stolen our funds, that court is convicting them. You can call them a criminal. Even when somebody goes for plea bargaining, the fact that you are going for a plea bargaining actually means that you are accepting guilt. You want to settle out of court. You could be referred to as a criminal despite that. In other words, there must be an evidence that you can reference. Even if you are taken to court, you can defend it based on that. You can say, okay, because this person was called upon to return certain amount, or there was a judgment that said he should return certain sum from the stolen fund. In other words, there must have been a conviction. In criminally minded case, the person has not been convicted, but what the person did can actually lead to or could lead to conviction. You cannot escape it. You can call that person a criminally minded person. Example is this. During COVID, for instance, we are aware of certain events where some people, they were selling what they were meant to give to people. Those people can be referred to as criminally minded person. If somebody maybe is in a position, maybe in the parliament or anywhere, and they divert constituency funds, what they were supposed to use it for, they diverted it to somewhere else, it can be referred to as a criminally minded person. Somebody who forges signature, for instance, is a criminally minded person. Someone who is involved in bribery can be referred to as a criminally minded person. Somebody who did what is against the law that can lead to conviction, being convicted, can be said to be a criminally minded person. The examples are many like that, right? So, but the fact is that an individual can be criminally minded. An individual can be referred to as a criminal. And we can refer to an organization or an entity as a criminal or criminally minded organization. Let me give you an example. We have had in this country a situation where a bank and a bank MD were convicted of crime of money laundering and the rest. The organization or the bank was referred to as a criminal bank, and the man was referred to as a criminal. They were both convicted, And an organization who conducts or condones or agree or connive with somebody to do crime, right? Commit crime, even if they have not been convicted, the organization can be referred to as a criminally minded organization. So if somebody supports crime that could lead to conviction, or an organization supports a crime that could lead to a conviction, such organization could be referred to as a criminally minded organization. So let's go to the next topic.